Hey, welcome in, everyone. Thanks every day, 9 to noon, for being part of the show, listening, calling, emailing, Facebook, particularly on a day like today, 9/11. But there's another thing we don't forget, and we try our best to bring you a player who has really kept that torch alive. Thank God Judicial Watch is out there. And we're told, I guess we were told by those who were the perpetrators of Benghazi, we shouldn't be talking about this like 30 seconds after it happened, right? Today's the 7th anniversary. People like Cheryl Atkinson have been incredible at pulling back on this story. But Tom Fitton, the chief guy at Judicial Watch, is the best in the business for this. He joins us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tom, very good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, Dom, thanks for having me on again.
What can you tell us on the 7th anniversary of Benghazi? What are some of the things that Judicial Watch jump out to you over those 7 long years you've been able to pull out of all this?
Well, we broke open the scandal, Dom. We proved through the release of documents that the White House orchestrated the big lie that Benghazi was caused by a video or response, spontaneous demonstrations in response to a video as opposed to a terrorist attack.
Hey, Tom, sorry to interrupt, but do we know if that guy's in jail? Remember that guy that made that wild video and he went to jail for it?
Yeah, he did go to jail for it. He's out, but he's the only one who went to jail on it.
So that's one part of it. Where does the story stand today, Tim? What can be done to continue to talk about this? Because we're told, hey, this is just an attack it's a political attack. We're not really trying to get at the truth here.
Well, the documents show that they wanted to push these fake talking points out, that the attack was in response to the video. And remember, Susan Rice she was then ambassador to the United Nations, went on television. I think, she did all 5 morning talk shows that one Sunday in September, told everyone it was video, and they knew better. There was look, Tom, I've looked at every document there is to look at in the tens of thousands of documents we received. There was no intelligence that it was anything other than an attack. And then we find documents that they held from the American people for years, that the military was ready to go to the rescue. And I don't know, they could have gotten there in time for the initial attack, but remember, the Benghazi attack was two separate attacks.
Yeah,
one
exactly.
At the initial compound, and then second at the CIA annex.
Hey, Tom, what do you think was the motivation of not at least attempting to get there?
Oh, I don't think they wanted a big military imprint at Benghazi or in Libya generally, because it would have been highlighting their embarrassing failure there, which was they allowed Gaddafi to be murdered, and it turned into a nightmare for us in terms of national security, because it became a way station and gathering point for the terrorist jihadis wanting to kill us.
Now, did you guys tweet out, Dan tells me, at Judicial Watch, you tweeted out, Osama bin Laden may have chartered a Saudi flight out of the U.S. after 9/11?
Yeah, I forgot we had uncovered that. The documents show that the FBI, remember all those Saudis left quickly after 9/11, and the FBI lied about that. It turns out they had information that was either chartered by the Saudis directly or bin Laden. This isn't an FBI document. We don't know what the answer is. They still don't know much about 9/11. And you know what's outrageous? Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was the principal architect of 9/11, working as a top deputy for bin Laden, is still in Gitmo. He's yet to be tried for his crimes, all because the activists left, the Supreme Court jumped in to slow the proceedings and make it harder to get justice done. And he's not set to go to trial, I think, until 2021.
I was just reading that today. Now, I was at Gitmo and broadcast from there in 2004, Tom, and I didn't see Khalid, of course, but I saw his Confederates playing soccer in front of me and then having a picnic lunch at a table. I was like 25 feet away from them, and you talk about they would have cut my throat with something from McDonald's if they could have. It was visceral, and they're still there. Any number of them. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's the big guy, though.
Yeah, and they're still there, and so justice hasn't been meted out fully for 9/11, and we're still investigating it. The Saudi ties are still at issue, and then of course the Benghazi terror scandal, which is part of an Al Qaeda attack as well, that still hasn't been fully vetted. We're still in court trying to get information on Benghazi.
Well, thanks
By
for
the
what
best
you do.
efforts of the Justice Department.
Right, what you do every day. We'd have to invent you if you didn't invent it yourself. Where do people find you, and how can they support this most important work?
They can go to our website at judicialwatch.org, and then we're on Facebook and Twitter, and you can follow me. Suggest people follow our feeds today on Twitter because we're putting up all our great Benghazi and 9/11 work to educate people on it. It's at Judicial Watch and at Tom Fitton.
Parting question. We know about President Bush, the argument they ignored 9/11 warnings. How about the Clinton administration?
Oh, they were warned repeatedly about bin Laden. In fact, when he went from Sudan to Afghanistan, the State Department warned, boy, Afghanistan's a center for jihadi activity. It's going to be even worse for the U.S. there. They did nothing.
Absolutely. Hey, Tom, thank you.
And, of course, those are documents we uncovered, Dom.
Absolutely. And people want to see all this, just go to your Twitter feed, at Judicial Watch. I'm glad you're putting them up today. It's a monumental day. And Tom, thanks on short notice for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dom. You're welcome. Thank you.